Kangaroo. The kangaroo is Australia's most iconic animal and one of the country's official national symbols. There are four large species, with the red kangaroo being the biggest marsupial in the world and capable of growing over 2 meters tall when standing upright. Kangaroos travel by hopping, an extremely energy-efficient form of movement that allows them to reach speeds of around 70 kilometers per hour in short bursts. Their long, muscular tails act like a fifth limb, providing balance while hopping and helping them stand or move slowly. Female kangaroos carry their babies, called joeys, inside a pouch where they continue developing for several months after birth. Kangaroos live across grasslands, woodlands, and deserts, feeding mainly on grasses and shrubs. Today, they are so closely associated with Australia that they appear on the national coat of arms, airline logos, and countless souvenirs around the world. Koala. Despite often being called a bear, the koala is actually a marsupial. It spends almost its entire life in eucalyptus trees, rarely descending to the ground except to move between trees. Koalas survive on eucalyptus leaves, which contain very little nutrition and are toxic to most animals. Their specialized digestive system breaks down these toxins, but because the diet provides so little energy, koalas sleep between 18 and 20 hours each day. Their thick fur protects them from changing temperatures, while rough pads on their paws allow them to grip tree trunks securely. Habitat destruction, bushfires, drought, and disease have significantly reduced koala populations in many parts of Australia, making them one of the country's most important conservation species. Wombat. Wombats are powerful burrowing marsupials with short legs, muscular bodies, and surprisingly strong claws. They dig extensive tunnel systems called burrows, which can stretch for dozens of meters underground and remain cool during Australia's hot summers. Wombats feed mainly on grasses, roots, and bark, using slow digestion to extract every possible nutrient from their food. One of their most famous features is producing cube-shaped droppings, an unusual adaptation that prevents them from rolling away when marking territory on rocks and logs. Their thick cartilage-covered backsides can also block tunnel entrances, protecting them from predators. Although they appear slow and gentle, wombats can sprint surprisingly fast over short distances. Platypus. The platypus is often considered one of the strangest animals ever discovered. It combines features that seem borrowed from several different species, including a duck-like bill, webbed feet, dense waterproof fur, and a broad tail similar to a beaver's. Along with echidnas, it belongs to the tiny group of mammals known as monotremes, which lay eggs instead of giving birth to live young. Underwater, the platypus closes its eyes, ears, and nostrils, relying on special receptors in its bill that detect the electrical signals produced by the muscles of prey such as insects, worms, and freshwater shrimp. Males also possess venomous spurs on their hind legs that can deliver an extremely painful sting. Its unique biology has fascinated scientists ever since Europeans first encountered it in the late 18th century. Echidna. The echidna is Australia's other egg-laying mammal and one of the oldest surviving mammal lineages on Earth. Covered with sharp spines mixed among coarse fur, it feeds mainly on ants and termites using a long, sticky tongue that can dart in and out rapidly. Echidnas have no teeth, so they grind food using hardened pads inside their mouths. When threatened, they either curl into a spiny ball or dig straight downward until only their spines remain exposed. Females temporarily develop a pouch where a single egg is incubated before hatching. Echidnas are found across almost every Australian habitat, from alpine regions to deserts, demonstrating their remarkable adaptability. Tasmanian devil. The Tasmanian devil is the world's largest surviving carnivorous marsupial. Once widespread across mainland Australia, it now exists naturally only on the island of Tasmania. Devils are famous for their loud screeches, aggressive feeding behavior, and incredibly powerful jaws capable of crushing bones. Although they often appear fierce when competing for food, they usually avoid unnecessary fights with humans. They play an important ecological role by cleaning up carcasses before disease can spread. Unfortunately, A contagious cancer known as devil facial tumor disease has devastated wild populations since the 1990s, making conservation programs essential for the species' survival. Dingo. The dingo is Australia's largest native land predator and has lived on the continent for thousands of years. Scientists believe dingoes were introduced by seafaring people long before European settlement. They resemble medium-sized dogs but are highly adapted to Australia's harsh environments, living in deserts, forests, mountains, and grasslands. Dingoes hunt alone or in packs, depending on the size of their prey, feeding on animals ranging from rabbits to kangaroos. As apex predators, they help maintain healthy ecosystems by controlling populations of herbivores and invasive species. Their role in Australia's ecology remains the subject of extensive scientific research and conservation debate. Emu. The emu is Australia's tallest native bird and the second largest bird in the world after the ostrich. Although flightless, it can run at speeds exceeding 50 kilometers per hour using its long, powerful legs. Emus travel vast distances in search of food and water, especially during periods of drought. Their diet includes seeds, fruits, flowers, insects, and small animals, making them highly adaptable. During breeding season, females lay large dark green eggs, but it is the male that incubates them for around 8 weeks without eating much and later raises the chicks on his own. The emu's importance in Australian culture is reflected by its place on the national coat of arms alongside the kangaroo. Kookaburra. The laughing kookaburra is one of Australia's best-known birds thanks to its distinctive call, which sounds remarkably like loud human laughter echoing through the bush. It belongs to the kingfisher family, although it spends much of its time hunting on land rather than catching fish. Kookaburras perch quietly before swooping down on insects, snakes, lizards, mice, and even small birds. They often beat prey against tree branches before swallowing it whole. Their famous calls help family groups defend territories and communicate with one another. Because of their unique sound, kookaburras have become a symbol of the Australian wilderness in films, television, and wildlife documentaries. Cassowary. The southern cassowary is one of the largest and most impressive birds in Australia. Found mainly in the tropical rainforests of northeastern Queensland, it has brilliant blue skin, a helmet-like casque on its head, and glossy black feathers that resemble hair. Although usually shy, cassowaries possess extremely powerful legs with dagger-like claws capable of defending them against threats. They play a vital ecological role by eating large rainforest fruits and dispersing seeds over long distances, helping regenerate forests. Many rainforest plants rely heavily on cassowaries for survival, making the bird one of Australia's most important seed dispersers. Saltwater crocodile. The saltwater crocodile is the largest living reptile on Earth, with some males exceeding 6 meters in length and weighing over 1 ton. Despite the name, it thrives in both saltwater and freshwater habitats, including rivers, estuaries, wetlands, and coastal regions across northern Australia. Saltwater crocodiles are patient ambush predators that remain almost completely submerged before launching explosive attacks on prey. They can consume fish, birds, reptiles, and large mammals. Their immense bite force ranks among the strongest ever measured in any living animal. Protected populations have recovered significantly since hunting restrictions were introduced during the 20th century. Quokka. The quokka has become famous worldwide as the world's happiest animal because its facial structure gives the appearance of a permanent smile. This small marsupial is found mainly on Rottnest Island near Perth, where predators are limited and the animals are comfortable around people. Quokkas feed on grasses, leaves, and stems, storing fat in their tails to survive periods with little food. Although naturally curious, they remain wild animals and should never be fed by visitors. Their popularity on social media has made them international ambassadors for Australian wildlife. Bilby. The bilby is a nocturnal marsupial recognized by its long rabbit-like ears, pointed snout, silky gray fur, and black and white tail. It spends daylight hours inside deep spiral burrows that protect it from heat and predators. Bilbies feed on insects, seeds, fungi, bulbs, and small invertebrates, obtaining much of their moisture directly from food rather than drinking water. Once widespread across Australia, they have declined dramatically because of habitat loss and introduced predators such as foxes and feral cats. Conservation breeding and predator-free reserves are helping populations recover, and the bilby has even become an Australian alternative to the Easter bunny. Sugar glider. The sugar glider is a tiny nocturnal marsupial capable of gliding more than 50 meters between trees. A thin membrane stretching from its wrists to its ankles allows it to soar gracefully through forests while searching for food. Sugar gliders feed on nectar, pollen, insects, tree sap, and fruit, using their large eyes to navigate in darkness. They live in close family groups inside tree hollows and communicate using a variety of chirps and barking sounds. Their remarkable gliding ability helps them avoid predators without descending to the forest floor. Frilled neck lizard. The frilled neck lizard is instantly recognizable by the enormous frill of skin surrounding its neck. When threatened, it opens its mouth, spreads the colorful frill, hisses loudly, and may sprint away on its hind legs, creating one of the most dramatic defensive displays in the animal kingdom. Most of the time, however, it remains calm and spends much of its life climbing trees in northern Australia. Its diet consists mainly of insects, spiders, and small vertebrates. The frilled lizard became internationally famous after appearing in documentaries and popular films. Thorny devil. The thorny devil is one of Australia's most unusual reptiles. Covered entirely with sharp-looking spines, it blends perfectly into the desert landscape, making it difficult for predators to spot. Despite its intimidating appearance, it feeds almost exclusively on ants and may consume thousands in a single day. Tiny grooves between its scales collect morning dew and rainwater, channeling moisture directly toward its mouth. It can also change color slightly depending on temperature and surroundings, providing excellent camouflage in Australia's arid interior. Blue-ringed octopus. The blue-ringed octopus is a small marine animal with one of the most powerful venoms in the natural world. Normally yellowish or brown, it displays brilliant electric blue rings when disturbed as a warning to potential predators. Found in tide pools, coral reefs, and shallow coastal waters, it feeds on crabs and small crustaceans. Although its bite is rare, the venom can cause paralysis within minutes and has no specific antidote, making immediate medical care essential. Despite its dangerous reputation, the octopus is shy and usually avoids human contact. Great white shark. The great white shark is Australia's most famous ocean predator and inhabits coastal waters around much of the continent. It possesses rows of serrated teeth that are continually replaced throughout its life. Great whites rely on an extraordinary combination of smell, hearing, vision, and electrical sensing to locate prey. They mainly feed on fish, seals, sea lions, and occasionally dolphins. Although sensationalized in movies, attacks on humans are extremely rare compared to the millions of people who enter Australian waters each year. The species is now protected because of declining global populations. Box jellyfish. The Australian box jellyfish is considered one of the most venomous marine animals on Earth. Found mainly in tropical northern waters during warmer months, its nearly transparent body makes it difficult to spot in the ocean. Long tentacles contain millions of microscopic stinging cells capable of delivering venom that attacks the heart, nervous system, and skin almost instantly. Beaches in affected regions often use stinger nets and warning signs to reduce encounters. Despite its fearsome reputation, the box jellyfish plays a natural role in the marine ecosystem by feeding on small fish and crustaceans. Cockatoo. Cockatoos are among Australia's most intelligent and charismatic birds. Their curved beaks, expressive crests, and loud calls make them impossible to ignore. Species such as the sulfur-crested cockatoo have adapted remarkably well to cities, parks, and suburbs, where they often gather in noisy flocks. Cockatoos use their powerful beaks to crack open nuts, seeds, and tough fruits while also feeding on roots and insects. Studies have shown they can solve complex problems, learn from one another, and even invent new ways to access food, demonstrating remarkable intelligence for wild birds. Lyrebird. The superb lyrebird is famous for being one of the greatest vocal mimics in the animal kingdom. Males can imitate dozens of bird species as well as sounds from their environment, including camera shutters, chainsaws, car alarms, and even human speech when repeatedly exposed to them. During courtship, males perform elaborate dances while displaying spectacular tail feathers shaped like an ancient lyre. Lyrebirds spend much of their time scratching through forest leaf litter in search of insects, spiders, worms, and other invertebrates. Their extraordinary mimicry has made them one of Australia's most celebrated native birds,